Hello, I'm Noob Investor. I'm a little nervous about this. This is my first time trying to do YouTube, but what I wanted to do is create sort of a video log of my venture into investing. This is my first time investing. I'm in a spot financially where I think now's the right time. The more I research, the more I realize I probably should have started sooner, but I wanted to document how I'm doing, where I start, so I can go back and look at the errors that I made, or if anybody else is just getting into this, they can look back and they won't have to make the same mistakes that I'm probably going to make very soon. So I'll just get into a little bit of my history. I graduated from SUNY Plattsburgh with a bachelor's in early childhood education and a focus in mathematics. After college, I couldn't really find a teaching job. The market was flooded. There were tons of applications in the field, and you really needed a special ed component, which I didn't possess. So I started working for a medical device company. They dealt with fluid management and transducers. And during that time, there was a couple things I did right financially and a couple things I did wrong. I was only making about $15 an hour. And with that, I had to pay rent, car insurance, car payment, cable, and student loans on top of grocery and living expenses. So some of the things I did wrong is I started drinking a lot, kind of kept going from college. I bought a lot of tobacco, and I was always looking for like an escape from my current situation, so I got into video games a lot. And the real mistake was I became complacent with my situation. So I was okay just scraping by, getting drunk, and playing video games. And that ultimately led to me getting fat because I had a really poor diet. So I put on a lot of weight. But during that 5-year period, there were some certain things I did right. I doubled the minimum on my student loans, so I was paying my student loans off faster and faster. I bought into silver, so I watched a lot of Max Kaiser, and I followed some Kitco news, and I bought in around $17 an ounce, and I ended up selling half of what I had when it got up to about $49, $50. And the best thing I did during that 5-year period was look for a better job. So the company I worked for got bought out. They started firing people, so I put my application out everywhere. And I ended up getting picked up by an aviation company. And overnight, my income doubled. So that was a life-changing event for me. And now I'm at the point where I want to start investing because I have some income that I don't need. So rather than keep it in the bank, I want to start investing that income. So I'll break down real quick what my current financial situation looks like. Before I even see my check, I've got 8% going out to retirement, and through a company match, they match up to half, so that's 4%, and they also do an additional 3% because they no longer do a pension. So combined, I've got 15% of my income going right into retirement. So then we look at my take home, which my total take home is $1,000. So my wife and I agreed that if I give her $700 a week, she can manage the finances for the house. So that's all of the bills and debts except one, which I'll mention in a second. And the strategy for that, and it's been pretty successful, is what we do is if these red bars represent our different debts, we started paying the minimum on each one. And let's say this one's paid off, we take that money we were paying on that one and we add it to the next debt. When that debt's paid off, we take both of them and we add them to the next debt. So as time goes on, our debts are getting paid off faster and faster. And she's doing all that with $700 of my income, and she also works and makes about half of that. So with that income, she's paying the mortgage, the cable bill, her car payment, and her student loans, and whatever the day-to-day operations of the house. What's left after that is $300, and the only bill she's not paying, and this is just because of something we worked out, is my truck payment. So I take care of the truck with that other $300. So with that $300, when $100 goes to my truck payment, it's about $400 a month, which I know it was a mistake to buy, but the truck I was in just wasn't running. It wouldn't start. I was pouring so much money into it that I needed something more reliable that wasn't going to cost me so much money out of pocket. So that's where I'm at with the vehicle. So what's left is $200 that I don't rely on. I'm already doing savings over here with the 700. Certain percent's going to savings. So I already have a retirement 401k set up, and that's currently set up in BlackRock. And so far it's doing pretty good. In the last 5 years, 10,000 invested 5 years ago would be worth about 20,000 right now. So I'm happy with that return. I don't touch that. I don't look at that. It's taken right out of my check before I see it. It's gone out of sight, out of mind. And it's being invested through Vanguard. So what's left? So I have $200 at the end of every week. And before, let's all the way up to 2017, I was still wasting that money on beer, eating out, just going out to restaurants, buying food, a lot of food that I didn't need. I quit chewing tobacco about 3/4 of the way into 2017, so I'm saving money there. I also went through and I canceled subscriptions that I didn't need. Pandora, I got rid of that. I had an HBO Go subscription, got rid of that. So I cut down on anything I was subscribing to, and I'm really trying to consolidate this 200 and put it purely into investments. So what kind of investments am I looking at? The majority I'm going into, I'm going to say 2/3 are going to be high dividend yield stocks, and 1/3 things that I'm willing to gamble a little bit on, more riskier investments. So this might look different in your situation, but the main reason I'm showing you this is so you can kind of see a ratio based on your income. Yours is probably higher, could be lower, but this is just an idea of where I'm starting. So I'm probably making mistakes somewhere, but I just wanted a snapshot of where I'm starting. $200 a week would give me about $10,000 a year. So if I were to make 10% return on my investments, which I know that's really optimistic, probably won't do that well, especially starting out. But if I were to make 10% return on my investments, at the end of year one, I'd have 11,000. Following year, if I put in another 10,000, at the end of year two, I would be at 23,000. And so my 5-year plan is at the end of year five, putting 10,000 away each year, I'd be at 67,156. And as you can see on the screen, if you go up to 10 years, you're looking at 175,000. So, but my focus is 5 years now, 10 years down the road. So if I can stick to that, hopefully by 5 years I'll have the 67K. But obviously that's no guarantee. So you saw a little bit of my history. You see where I'm at now financially. So now I'm looking forward. And the purpose of the vlog, it's going to be a weekly, hopefully I can do a video every week. And the purpose is to record my adventure into investments by using a weekly snapshot so that I can go back and look and see exactly where I made mistakes and what I did wrong. So I've also established some goals for 2018. So my first goal is to free up enough cash to invest 200 a week into the market for a grand total of 10,000 by the end of the year. From what I've researched, a lot of the advice I've been reading is to invest in yourself. That's number one investment. So for me, that means 12 months sobriety. So as of today, I'm officially done drinking. And to lose 30 pounds. So to lose some of that beer weight that I put on. Another goal is to get 1,000 subscribers. This is so that I'm not the only one learning, so that somebody else coming into the market for the first time, maybe they have something to look at that they can reference and they can avoid the pitfalls that I'm probably going to fall into as I start out. And I didn't want to set my investment goal too high as far as earnings, because I didn't want to get discouraged if I didn't make the goal. This is something that I want to stick with. So I debated on what my investment goal should be, and I decided that if at the end of the year, if I have a net gain of at least 1 penny, then I can look at it as basically I saved money. It was just another savings account. So instead of wasting that money on booze and tobacco and restaurants, I actually put it somewhere safe. So if I can get at least 1 penny gain, then I'll be happy. I hope you will join me on this adventure. I have no idea what's going to happen. I think 2018 is going to be interesting, but I'll try to do a video every week, and I hope you come along for the ride. Thanks for watching.